Right. Hi everyone, my name is Ian Moss, I'm the editor of JesusWired, and I'm here with Josh Green of the band 1224. Say hello to everyone, Josh.
What is up, JesusWired and the rest of the world?
Have you had a good day today?
I've had an interesting day. My little girl's ill, so I've been looking after her. I've been hanging out with Linz West from LZ7. We had an amazing triple threat burger, which is a cheeseburger with bacon and pulled pork on it.
That sounds amazing.
With sweet potato fries, it was the bomb. And yeah, been with the other two, Ryan and Christina. We've been hanging out, and we just released a lyric video for our song "Viva la Wild Kids." Just went up like
I noticed that
an hour ago.
I've just watched
Busy
it.
day.
Good stuff. Right, well, as you just mentioned, you've got a little girl. So since we last spoke, you've become a dad, really.
Yeah, that's true.
How's it all been?
Oh, dad life. Hashtag dad life. Shout out to all the dads and the mums out there who are grinding hard and waking up when you should be asleep. Nah, it's amazing, man. It's absolutely amazing. Every life is a gift from God, and I just appreciate just being a dad. It's amazing, and I'm learning a lot, growing a lot, and not sleeping. And yeah, it's good. It's really good. And then Ryan's got a baby on the way. I think like it could be any day now. So
well, prayers about that, and pass our love on to Ryan. Well, specifically my love.
Your love is strong, Ian. And me and my wife have got another baby on the way as well, coming next year.
Congratulations again on that, man.
So we're growing.
So, just for all those out there who haven't heard of you specifically, can you just tell us about who you are and about your childhood and how you came to faith?
Yeah. So I'm Josh from a band called 1224. It's the word 12 and the number 24. We're based in Manchester, England, but we travel all over the world. You know, Europe, America. Just got back from South Africa. We do some crazy stuff, and really our heart is just to reach as many young people as possible for Jesus. Not just young people, you know, old people, any type of people, just anybody who's willing to listen to music and have a good time and hear our perspective on life. And I guess that heart comes from all of our own personal individual journeys with faith and with God, and yeah, how he's impacted our lives, you know, and that's kind of what our new album's about, like God taking you from the ground up, you know, him using your weaknesses and him being strong in your weaknesses, and it not being about, you know, what we do in our own strength, but about what he can do through ordinary people like you and me. So a little bit about who we are.
Well, can you just quickly give the listeners just a quick reminder about where the name 1224 actually comes from?
Yeah. So it's from John 12:24. So right there in Scripture. We used to work for a charity called the Message Trust, and they run a program every year, like an evangelistic kind of training school. Basically, kind of teaches people how to share their faith and their opinion in a relative, you know, way that impacts culture and touches young people. And so we went on that course that trains you how to do that at the Message Trust. It's called Message Academy. Shout out to Message Academy. It starts every September if you want to join. And yeah, we went on there 8 years ago now. 8 years ago in September, and we all met on there. And the vision for Message Academy came from John 12:24, and it talks about a seed going into the ground and dying. But if that seed dies, it produces much fruit. And the whole point of the Message Academy was to raise up new bands like the Tribe, who were before Message Academy, Worldwide Message Tribe, to continue that great work that they were doing, reaching out to people across the world for Jesus. And so they set up that training school, Message Academy. We were on it, and we were the first band to come through the academy course. And so they were sharing the vision about the scripture, John 12:24, and the kind of name 1224 just stuck. And for us, that's our beginning, but also we take the name all the way through up until now. We want young people who listen to what we do to have the seed of the gospel, the seed of God's love to be implanted in their hearts, and for it to grow and bear much fruit in their lives, in their families' lives. And we see that all the time, which is a great privilege.
Well, one of the first songs you came out with when you came out of the Message Academy was a song called Real Love. I think.
You don't mention those songs.
What? how much have you grown as a band since you first came out of the Message Academy?
Yeah, we did a 2-track EP called Real Love and Fix Me, and Fix Me is actually still some of people's favourite, like one of people's favourite songs that we've ever done. It's kind of more hip hop. Yeah, it's more hip hop kind of jam. I reckon we could still put it out now.
Yeah, pretty good.
We still believe it, like God can take your brokenness and fix you. But really, the music's adapted and evolved, but I always think that it was there right at the start. There was something special right at the start between me, Ryan, and Christina. You know, 3 cultural backgrounds. You've got Western Africa with Christina from Ghana. You've got USA with Ryan, and then you've got UK, Manchester with me. So 3 unique kind of people from different cultures all coming together in one band. Always going to be an interesting combination. And so there was always something special, but I think the songwriting and the growth in production, and because we exec produce and co-produce every single song, and we write every single song, and we write all the lyrics, and you know, sometimes we pull in a friend to write the song with us, but mainly it's the 3 of us with a guy called Tim Gosden who kind of work together and put this stuff out. So really we've just become more of a force, more of something that you could kind of put us in a room for a week and we would come out with 7 different songs that are all from different genres. And whereas I guess when we first started, we were kind of like focused on like hip hop and like rap and stuff, and you can kind of hear that a little bit in our sound, but it just kind of developed into a more kind of multi-genred sound.
Well, before we get on to talking about the new album From the Ground Up that you guys are about to release / have released, since we last spoke, you guys have moved on from the Message a little bit, and you're now your own entity. Can you tell us about why you made that decision and how it came about, and how has it gone, really?
Yeah, we love the Message Trust. We always have, we always will, and we're still partnered with them. Next year we're going to be doing a thing called the Higher Tour, which is named after our song, and it's going to be doing 50 schools in a region. So we'll start with Manchester next year in March. 50 high schools, going in, doing the music, preaching the gospel, and then a big concert at the end, 5 nights at the Apollo in Manchester, trying to pack it out with 4,000 young people every single night. And it's all unsaved, you know, unchurched, straight from high school, straight to a venue, and we kind of tell them about Jesus. So we're still partnering with them with that. And really, the kind of vision for the Message has stayed the same for the last 25 years. In terms of, if you're a band at the Message, your focus is high schools. And, you know, week in, week out, serving local high schools, serving the local church, partnering with high schools. And we're still going to be doing schools. In fact, this year we're doing more schools than ever before. But we just felt from God like he was calling us into the mainstream music industry. So just trying to put the music out there to more people, because it was great going into the schools, but you can't be in the school every single week. And so for us, the vision for kind of leaving the Message Trust was, you know, 2 heads are better than 1. You know, the message of carry on doing the schools, and then we'll do work with young people outside of school hours. So putting up music videos, putting songs into the charts, trying to get on the radio. You know, we just got an MTV with Higher, you know, 6 months ago. So it's kind of the two things together, you know, are just it's gonna make it fly, and it's gonna change culture rather than just kind of going from school to school. So it's just two different visions, but we're going after the same goal, which is reaching people for Jesus. So it's exciting stuff.
Awesome. Now, you guys released the physical copies of your new album from the ground up at your album release party last Monday.
Yeah.
How did the concert go? You had lots of different musical guests out of Seven, Bright Line, and my mind's gone back to the rest.
Dave Child and Geek Boy.
That's it. How did it all go?
It was amazing. We ran the we booked the venue ourselves. You know, no management company, we didn't do any like major press. We just kind of pushed it on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. It was October the 12th. So October the 12th was the album launch with the physical copy, and then October 24th is the iTunes. So 12/24 October. And it went really well. The place was rammed. We got way more people than we thought we would get. It's our first headline show that we've done in our base city, and really it was a launch not only for our new album, but for us as our own independent entity, just to say this is kind of what we're going after, building a fan base, building a wide range of young people to come and love the music and then be introduced to Jesus. So it was a great night. We had about 150 decisions made for Jesus that night. I got a message through from a youth leader who they had a kid who goes to a youth group who called himself a witch. He'd identify himself as a witch, and his parents were into really dark stuff. And he got saved that night. And the youth leader said his behaviour the week after the concert was completely transformed. So it was packed out, and 150 decisions for Jesus. But it's also about that one kid as well. And for me, that's the foundation of our ministry. Doing the music, making excellent music. Mainstream venues. Big nights, great music, but also positive, life-giving message of uncompromised gospel of Jesus, and young people getting changed and transformed.
Right, well, as you just mentioned, from the ground up releases this coming Saturday on the 24th. Yeah. You've managed to pack the album with 15 tracks, and in a culture today where music's moving more towards kind of 9-10 track albums, if you can call them that. What made you kind of pack it with more tracks, as it were, like an old-fashioned album, a proper album, in my opinion? Yeah.
Well, our opinion as well. 9-10 songs, not really an album. Like it's
still an EP in my head.
Yeah, it's kind of an EP. You can get away with an album I think if you put out a 9-10 track album, you just have to put it out without any singles before it, because then you get in 9 or 10 new songs. And I think if you do that, that's fine. But if you're doing 3-4 songs before the album releases, and then a 9-10 track album, it's like that just, what you're doing for your fans and for your thing. And I think people are still buying music, but I think you've got to be putting out quality music, and you've got to be putting out a lot of music. And so that was kind of part of it. But really, the main reason was we started out in 2008 with a 2-track single. Then we did a 6-track EP in 2009. And then we did Tell the Truth in 2013. That was 11 tracks or 11 tracks in a remix. So really, we've been around for 8 years, but never really done a full-length, proper album, in our opinion. So we were like, let's go for it. In fact, we wanted to have more songs on there, but they didn't make the cut. But
you can save those for the next release.
Yes, we might be saving some for something special. but we won't say any more than that. We wanted to do.
Between the two of us.
We wanted to say to our fans, we worked really hard, and you deserve to hear a lot of music. And also, we wanted to touch lots of different genres, and I think you can hear that on the album. We wanted to try lots of different things, and I guess, we didn't want to be pigeonholed into one genre because you did, 7 pop tracks and 2 dance tracks, and then they go, oh, they're just a pop band. And it's like, no, we don't want you to think that we're just a pop band, because also we do 80s, and also we do acoustic and ballads, and so we still felt like we didn't put everything that we wanted to put on the album, but we had to get to a point where we were like, okay, we're going to have to stop here and just put it out. So there's plenty more music coming.
Awesome. Now, can you just explain about the album title and about what From the Ground Up means and where it came from?
Yeah. So there's a few different kind of things that it came from. Firstly, us leaving the message and becoming independent and starting our own thing, like starting from the ground up, like building from scratch again. So it kind of felt like we were starting again as a band. So it was only right to release new music as we kind of were starting again as a band, and the title of the album fitting that. And also, it's about our individual stories, where God's taken us in our lives. So we wanted to talk more about our stories and where we were at on the album. And then also it was about God meeting people where they're at, the kind of come as you are, kind of, which I don't think the church has done very well at doing, like letting people just come as they are, mess and everything. And we're trying to say in this album, it's about, if you're on the ground, that's where God wants to reach you. You don't have to become this amazing person to be a Christian. God can just reach you on the ground right where you're at, if you think you're in a mess or you think you're doing great. And the touchstone kind of scripture for it was 2 Corinthians 12:9. And God says to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you in your time of weakness. When you're weak, I am strong. And Paul says, I'll boast more about my weaknesses so that Jesus will be more glorified. So that's really what it's about. It's about God being strong when we are weak. So we tried in this album to expose our weaknesses and talk about our weaknesses, so that people would see Jesus in our journey, and people would see that Jesus has taken us from the ground up, and we hope that he'll do the same with other people.
Well, as you just mentioned, this album kind of touches upon your weaknesses. Were there any particular tracks that were particularly hard to write because of that, and how did you get through that barrier?
Yeah. So there's a track on there called Scars.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult track to write for us. This year has probably been one of the hardest years of my life. My wife lost her mum, and it was a really tragic situation, and it's been a real struggle. And I kind of talked about it in my rap on the song. I said, I know what it's like to be looking at a grave and you can't find the words you want to pray. But I know he's holding my hand and giving me the strength to say I'm not afraid. So that song kind of sums up the whole album, really. That scars are a sign that you've been through some rough times, but you're still standing, you're still breathing. And it says in the song, these scars let the world know that we're going to stand again. So that was a difficult track to write. We kind of wrote a song called Easy to Love as well, which at the time, Christina was kind of going through a bit of a relationship kind of dilemma. I wish she was here to talk more about it. But so as we were writing that song, that was going on. So for her, it was really difficult to kind of, and she knew, she came in for the day when we had to record it, and she knew she had to record the thing, and she was like, man, I know I'm going through this and I've got to record this. But we all pulled together and we're like, this is why we've done this album. This is why we're doing it, because everybody's going through stuff, or everybody's been through stuff. And we've got to recognize that we can't just come in and be like, hey, God is great and we're blessed and that's awesome, when people are like, yeah, but I'm not blessed. Like I'm not seeing that. So we were like, no, we have to be honest about where we're at. We have to talk about where we're at and make real, authentic music.
Well, we as fans, we certainly thank you for pushing through those barriers and doing that. And actually, mentioning "Easy to Love," it's probably one of the best songs I've heard for a long time. So easy to listen to, and it has a party beat to it. Now on that song, you hooked up with Michael Wills. Can you tell us how that relationship with Michael Wills came about? Because he remixed a track on your Higher EP as well.
Yeah, it was really interesting. We had a couple of years ago, we were working with one of our sound engineers called Sam Taylor. He's an absolute legend. Big up yourself, Sam. And we were all into Macklemore. And so we listened to his album all the time. And, Sam found this remix of a Macklemore track by Michael Wills. And he played it to me and Ryan, and we were like, yo, this is crazy. And it had like a couple million plays. So I followed him on our 1224 SoundCloud, and just kind of seen him putting up stuff from time to time. This was before, I think this was before we did the remix EP. So I didn't really think about him for that. But then we were putting out Higher, and I wanted to do a couple remixes of Higher. So for some reason, it just like popped up on because I followed him on Facebook as well, liked his Facebook page, and I thought he was huge, which he kind of is, because some of his songs have had like millions of plays. And he's out in New Zealand. He's from New Zealand and lives in Australia now, and he's like a Ministry of Sound DJ and all sorts. So for some reason, I just felt like, oh, I should message him, even though I knew he's not a Christian. But I was like, I don't care about that. Like, but I thought he wouldn't want to work with us. But I thought I'll just message him anyway, and sent him Higher and said, you know, would you remix it? And he just came back like a couple hours later, and like, this tune's amazing. Like, I'll totally remix it. And about a week later, he sent me two remixes. He sent me the Higher remix that we have now, and Higher over the top of Easy to Love beat. Like, so it was just a beat then. And I immediately went back to him and said the one that had Higher over the Easy to Love thing, I was like, oh, this is the best one, let's use this. And then I played it to Ryan and Christina, and Ryan was like, this is too good just to have as a remix. So I messaged him back and said, bro, I think this is too good to have as a remix. Let's use the other one as your remix, and let's write something from scratch. And he contacted me and said, oh, funnily enough, like my friend said the same thing. So we put out the Higher remix, and then we were working on this other thing in the background, and he wanted to put it out as his single. So he put it out as a single on his record label over in Australia and New Zealand, and we put it out over here. We actually redid the song on the album because we wanted to add some more acoustic guitars and some more organic stuff for the album. But obviously there's the two versions that we love both of them. We just thought the album version was better suited to listen through the album, and his version's better as a kind of single. So that's kind of how it came about. We're still good friends, and hopefully we'll be working with him more soon on some more stuff.
Awesome. Now, another song I want to touch on the album is a song called "Don't You Give Up," and it features some guest vocals. Can you tell us about who that is, how you got hooked up with them, and about the song's message, really?
Yeah. So the song's been around for about 2.5 years. We kind of wrote it. We wrote the chorus and the beat about 2.5 years ago. And you know, if I'm drowning in the ocean or I'm lost at sea, will you stand by me forever, or will you give up on me? And we were kind of reading some of the psalms. They're called lament psalms. It's like grieving kind of psalms where people are going through difficult things and they write kind of about it. And obviously we know as Christians that God's not going to give up on us, but sometimes you're going through such a difficult thing that you just can't see him in the midst of that situation. And so it makes you ask, like, God, are you going to give up on me? Like, I'm out here drowning. Are you going to give up on me? And don't you give up on me? Please don't, because I'm a mess if you give up on me. Like, I'm lost if you do that. And we know that he's not going to give up. That's why later in the song we get to the, I know I can trust in you. I know you won't give up on me. But we wanted it to be authentic. We wanted people to listen to it and be like, man, I can relate to this. Like, I've been there. Like, I've been there where I've questioned God. I've been through hard times. And so that's what it's about. And the guy singing on it is a guy called Nana. He used to be in LZ7, like, way back in the day. And he still teaches some dance workshops up here in Manchester. And we just thought he'd be, like, the perfect guy for the song. And his voice sounds amazing on it. And originally I was singing it, but I was never meant to sing it. It was just, I sang it tried to sing it like how I imagined it.
Yeah.
And then when he sang it, I was like, that's how I imagined it.
That's the one. Right. So far, you've put out 4 songs off the album, really.
Yeah.
Fire, Nobody But You, Easy to Love, and now Viva the Wild Kids.
Yeah.
And Forever and Always. So you've already released. Yeah, I know I got the number wrong.
It's all good.
So you've already released 3 music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Can people expect any more, seeing as we've already seen 3?
No, definitely. I think what would be cool is if people message us and tell us what songs they think we should do a video for. We got some in mind, but we're just waiting to see. I think we want to put the album out first, and we're kind of already getting an idea of what songs people like the most. But we're just trying to build up an idea of it. I think Scars is definitely going to have a video, but we just think that's going to be a lot of work, because it has to be real, like, it has to really convey that message. So hopefully for that one. But yeah, man, any song on there could really do a music video and all that. But at the moment we're doing the marketing campaign with Nobody But You and with the album. So Viva the Wild Kids was just a lyric video just for the fans, and we're hopefully going to put out a few different lyric videos for most of the songs on the album, because we want people to really capture the lyrics. But yeah, definitely there'll be more music videos coming.
Well, mentioning Viva the Wild Kids, tell us about Wild Kids and where Wild Kids has come from.
Yeah. So for a long time as a band, we were trying to come up with names for our fans. Lots of people have a name for their fans, and we're trying to come up with one. And we didn't want just some random thing that didn't mean anything. We wanted something that meant something. And so eventually we came up with Wild Kids. And this came before the song. And Wild Kids is basically about people attempting great things for God. Like being dangerous and being adventurous and trying things that they never thought that they could do. Being wild, being free. Just bringing back to those days when you were a child, when you were a kid, when things made sense and you just went for things and didn't think about it and just took risks. And so that's what it's about for us. Obviously not all of our fans are Christians, and we're going to reach many more who aren't, but obviously our goal for them is to come under the home of Wild Kids and feel like they belong, and feel like they're part of something that's to do with God, but they don't have to be a Christian to kind of belong. They can still belong and feel like they're part of the family and all that kind of stuff. And then hopefully, as they belong in that movement of Wild Kids, they'll start to get what actually it's all about. And so they'll find a purpose and a reason for their life in attempting great things for God. So we kind of spoke about it a little bit in the song. You know, we try to really convey what Wild Kids is all about in the song. So, chorus says, "If I take all of me and give it all to you, together there's nothing that we can't do. They can say what they want, it don't mean a thing. Even under pressure, they can never change who we are." And we're the Wild Kids, under pressure, going through hard times. God takes us from the ground up, but we're always going to go for the big stuff and try and attempt great things for God. That's kind of what it's about. And so we released a load of merchandise, Wild Kids merchandise, and all that. So
Big up the Wild Kids. Now you've been rolling out these songs live, some of these songs live now. How are the new songs going down? And what's this new album like to perform live?
this new album is crazy to perform live. We've been performing Cool Like That for a while, which is a big crowd favourite. Really, everyone's like singing along. We split the left side and the right side, and you have to shout "Cool Like That," and that's a really great song for live. And you know, obviously we've been doing Higher and Forever and Always for a while. Nobody But You is just crazy live. Like seeing people sing "Why ya 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 ya." This mental, Easy to Love goes off. When we did the album launch, we sang a lot of the new songs. Viva La Wild Kids goes amazing live. Scars really impacts people live. After the album launch, with so many people coming up to us saying that song, that I'm Not Afraid, that Scars song has just really impacted me. And so that's what we're all about. We're about a party, we're about a good time, we're about people being inspired, and we're about people getting blessed and you know, moved in their heart. So it's good. The songs are really good to perform live.
Awesome. Now, last song about the new album. If there was just one message you wanted people to take away from this new album, from the ground up, what would that message be?
I think it would be just, you know, don't change. You don't have to like change anything about like yourself, like on the outward appearance, and everything doesn't have to go right in your life for you to kind of come to God. You can just come as you are, and He loves you so much, like right where you're at, and He can reach you on the ground, take you higher, bring you from the ground up. So just, you know, like the Bible verse says, just if you're feeling weak, like don't worry about it, because in your weakness He can be strong. Don't live life in your own strength. Live through His strength. Something like that.
I said just one message.
Sorry.
Kind of last few little questions just to wind down. What's your favourite naughty food treat?
Naughty food treat?
Your guilty pleasure?
Oh man, it's a toss up between Haribo and chips from the chippy, like real English, sweaty, chunky, chip shop chips.
I like you more and more. What is the most embarrassing album that you either own or love?
Most embarrassing album?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And you can't say your own.
I'm not ashamed of my musical taste. Like, if I like something, I like it. Like, I just left the shop before and I was blasting One Direction, and there was like loads of kids like kind of turned around and like looked at me, and I was like, I don't care. I love One Direction. So I guess maybe I should be embarrassed about liking One Direction or Justin Bieber.
Yeah, you've lost quite a lot of my respect.
Oh man.
No, I completely respect that attitude completely. Is there some Bible verse that's currently impacting your life hard at the moment?
Is there a Bible verse?
Yeah.
Man, throw me on that one. You know,
John 12:24.
I can be honest right now. I'm having a difficult time, like, kind of just like reading and praying and all that stuff because of everything that's been happening. Um, but I feel closer to Jesus than ever before. So I might not have a specific verse that's kind of really, I'm reading most days, but I'm not sure there's a specific verse. But I guess I'm just holding on to the simple ones, to be honest. Just the simple truths like Jeremiah 29:11. God's got a plan for my life, to give me a good future and a hope. And in fact, no, there is one actually. The verse in James: trials produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, character produces hope. Like, it's just what it is, man. When you're going through a tough time, a test, trial, it's to produce perseverance in you, to produce a good character, to make you a hopeful person and give other people hope that no matter what you've been through, you're still standing, you're still strong. I knew I had it somewhere. I was just trying to remember.
We got it out in the end.
Yeah.
Last two kind of quick questions. Are there any artists out there that you really want to collaborate on if there was no kind of restrictions?
Yes, there is. 2 people.
I can guess one of them.
And if they see this video, they need to call me up, because one of them we did a concert with back in May in Finland, and he's got our CD, and we sent him on YouTube. Lecrae needs to hit us up. We'd love to do a song with that guy. Just respect him, respect his art, respect what he's doing, respect the fact that he's always stayed unashamed of his faith. And yeah, we'd just love to collaborate. And also Justin Bieber. I want to do a song with that guy.
Justin Bieber. That,
what do you mean? Oh, it's a big tune. Nah, I'd love to do a song with him. He's crazy. There's loads of people I'd love to do a song with. But obviously, us and Lecrae share a bit more of the same heart. Yeah. But I'd love just to hang out with Justin, make some music, all that, because he just comes out with some genius stuff.
Well, here's a quick message to Lecrae. Phone Josh up, get a feature with them, and
yeah.
116 Unashamed together.
There you go. I've got all your albums, Lecrae. Come on, man. Come on, man.
And last quick question: what album out there by anyone that you're currently digging?
What albums are
and again, you can't say your own.
I am digging our own album, but
that's good.
I'm looking forward to One Direction new album. I've been listening to a lot of Drake. Some of his new stuff's crazy. I don't agree with everything he says, but he seems to just push a lot of boundaries. Seems to just do things that nobody else would do, and you're like, that's really cool. Something about that's really cool. I've heard some snippets of LZ7's new album. It's incredible.
I can't wait for that.
It's incredible. So
it's going to be quite good when that comes out.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
When LZ7 album 5 comes out. So yeah, man, a little bit of everything. I listened to some of Andy Mineo's new album.
So,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today, Josh. Can you just kind of tell? Can you just kind of tell people where they can find 1224 online?
Yeah. You can find us on Facebook, 1224, the word 12, TWELVE, and then 24, all one word. At 1224 on Twitter, 1224 band on Instagram. YouTubers, 1224, you can find all the stuff. And then you can find all the links to get the new album on our Facebook and website. It's 1224.co.uk. So yeah, check it out. and enjoy it, and tell a friend.
Tell lots of friends.
Tell many friends.
Last thing, how can we be praying for you particularly, and for 1224, and for Ryan, Christina?
Yeah, just pray for us. Obviously, like financially, it's a crazy step to just be kind of on your own, doing your own thing full time. You know, we don't have jobs outside of this. This is our full time job, so all that stuff. Yeah, just Ryan's having a baby, so definitely pray for that, and just pray that we just impact more people for Jesus. That's always our prayer. That's always what we want. Is to reach as many people as possible. So yeah, there's a few things.
Awesome.
Your prayer list.
Right. Well, thank you just for taking time to talk to us today. 1224's new album, From the Ground Up, comes out October 24th on iTunes. Go and pick it up. It is awesome. It's had me dancing around my living room, nowhere else, because no one wants to see that. It is awesome. It's got a great message, and it features Josh, Ryan, and Christina at their absolute best. And stay plugged into JesusWired.com, because my review of the album is coming soon in the next few weeks. And that's about it. Is there anything last thing you want to say to everyone out there, Josh?
Stay plugged into Jesus Wired all day, every day.
Yes.
From the ground up, 1224.
Peace. God bless. Take care.